You're watching East Midlands today on the BBC, and we can reveal that several hundred Afghan refugees are still in East Midlands hotels almost a year after being flown here. The government's trying to find homes for families who had leave because of links with this country. Now, several of our schools are helping their children adapt to a new life, as our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball reports.
Cooking a chicken biryani at West Grantham Academy, a fresh start for these teenagers after a traumatic few months. Masood barely spoke a word of English last year.
I have made lots of friends, English friends. They are talking with us, chatting with us, helping us.
Grantham is a good place, and the people are so kind, teaching me the culture of English people, and it's great.
I look at my life and I think I don't really have much to complain about when I see what they've been through. And I think I've just had the best fun with these students over the last few months.
For the girls, it's the chance of a future too, because back in Afghanistan, they'd now be banned from school.
I have a lot of best friends that I left them. They have right. They must get educated because they will be a good mother for their children.
I'm so happy in Grantham. I like school.
Here's another thing they like about school. The boys are passionate cricketers. These youngsters lost almost everything when Afghanistan collapsed last summer. This is a chance to have a childhood again as they slowly, cautiously build a new life here. They're getting help from classmates like Kevin, who knows what it's like, because when he moved to Grantham, he could only speak Polish.
It's pretty fun, isn't it? So me and him work together. I'm obviously not from England as well, so helping someone who's not from England is actually like really fun to do.
In at once.
For now, their lives are on hold in hotels as their families wait for homes. But they've got big dreams.
I would like to be a pilot.
I would like to become in the future a doctor and a computer science engineer.
We all guys need to work hard and study hard as much as we can to chase our desires to help Afghanistan once again.
Oh, it's fantastic to see that, Jeremy. But, you know, the headlines have changed now, haven't they? We're talking about cost of living, we're talking about Ukraine. So what's happened to the Afghan families?
Well, the government says it is still committed to supporting Afghans who were helping this country there. That, of course, is the reason that most of these families had to leave last summer. Things are moving rather slowly, though. We can show you the picture now here in the East Midlands. 42 families have been housed so far. That's around one for each local council area. But around 600 people are still in those 7 hotels, and that, of course, is far from ideal.
Not ideal, but they are safe. So what was the big problem?
Well, one problem is there's a huge cost to this. Another problem some of the teenagers in Grantham said is, look, we've got families crammed into small rooms, which obviously isn't easy over several months. And councils say the East Midlands has now got several disabled children, actually now several babies who've spent their whole lives in these hotels. I'm hearing about another problem too, which is people are starting to get good jobs in other parts of the country. But they can't move their families because they can't get homes. So that's creating a logjam too.
And we heard from a lot of other people last summer about the problems they were experiencing actually getting their friends and families out of Afghanistan. Do we have any sort of updates on that?
Yeah, look, these evacuations haven't finished, and the government says that more than 12,000 Afghans will have arrived here by the end of this year. I have spoken to a couple of those people, though, who say they're still not able to get visas for their families. And you might remember as well Lloyd Comer in Sandiacre. He was a military contractor in Kabul. He's struggling too. He wants visas for 2 Afghan colleagues who helped him escape last summer.
It's proven really, really difficult, and the guys in Afghanistan don't necessarily understand the bureaucracy of the Western world, but so they're incredibly frustrated.
And one last thing, Jeremy, do these resettlement schemes tie in with those very controversial plans to send asylum seekers to Rwanda?
They do really, because resettlement is the government's way forward for this. They want all refugees to use these resettlement schemes, and lots of advantages to that. They can choose who comes here, first of all. People get visas, and that breaks that dangerous people smuggling model. What critics say is there's a problem here because most refugees can't actually apply for resettlement. They don't qualify, so they're having to come through the traditional asylum system, and this country still takes far fewer asylum seekers than countries like France and Germany, and that's one reason that church leaders think this is so contentious.
OK, Jeremy, leave it there. Thanks very much indeed for that.